Now comes the time where we are going to introduce our speaker, my friend Candace Kalimai. I'll read her bio. While she is not a pastor, Candace is part of a pastoral committee at the First Spiritualist Temple of Royal Oak. Since retiring from the City of Detroit Police Department over 10 years ago, Candace has kept busy helping friends, family, serving her community, and serving her church. Candace has given talks at our church before, although she admits that she gets a little nervous when she speaks. She really enjoys sharing some of the things that she has learned with others. Candace tries to choose topics that are thought-provoking or provide food for the soul, as she likes to say. I love that. Candace says that she has been interested in spirit communication for quite some time now, but only began pursuing it after she retired. She has attended mediumship development classes with Reverend Terry Ryan of Camp Chesterfield in Indiana, as well as with Reverend Elizabeth Brown in the past, but is currently not using her gift in mediumship. And I hope you start bringing that forward, because that would be awesome. Candace is a mother of 3, though one of them is on the other side, and she is a grandmother of 5. So help me welcome Candace to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you. I know this won't compare with Reverend Gina's, but I wanted to start off with a joke too. First and foremost, is anybody here named Morris? No, good. How about Esther? Okay. Well, Morris and his wife Esther went to the state fair every year, and every year Morris would say, "Esther, I'd like a ride in that helicopter." Esther's reply was always the same. "I know, Morris, but that helicopter ride is $50, and $50 is $50. One year, Esther and Morris went to the fair, and Morris said, "Esther, I'm 85 years old. If I don't ride in that helicopter, I might never get another chance." To this, Esther replied, "Morris, that ride is $50, and $50 is $50. Well, the pilot overheard the couple and told them that he'd make them a deal. He said he'd take both of them for a ride, and if they could stay quiet and not say a word, then he wouldn't charge them. But if they said one word, then they'd have to pay that $50. Morris and Esther agreed, and up they went. The pilot did all sorts of fancy maneuvers, but not a word was heard. He did his daredevil tricks over and over again, still not a word. When they landed, the pilot turned to Morris and said, "My golly, I did everything I could to get you to yell out, but you didn't. I'm impressed." Morris said, "Well, to tell you the truth, I almost said something when Esther fell out of the helicopter." But you know, $50 is $50. Sorry about that. That joke is in no way related to my talk today. I just wanted to make sure that you were in a receptive mood. My talk is about life and whether it's a matter of destiny, choice, or karma. Now, I want to start out by telling you a little bit about my mother. Her name is Jackie, or Jacqueline. She's 92 years old, and in the past 7 or 8 years, she's had 4 heart attacks and a brain tumor, which I'm happy to report was successfully removed. In the past 7 months, she's fallen and broken a vertebrae in her neck and found out that she has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Now, she's tried chemotherapy followed by some sort of medicine pack. I don't know what it is exactly, but she decided that it was too much for her. Needless to say, my siblings are frantically trying to figure out how to properly care for Mom, who lives in Florida, by the way. In fact, my family has had a few Zoom meetings to discuss what steps we should take in regard to mom's health. Several siblings, and I have 6, volunteered to go to Florida to spend time with my mom. Now, 2 of whom are still working, and they may need to take a family medical leave. My only aunt also volunteered to fly down and spend a month with her. Now, one sister who lives in Michigan like me did not even join the first Zoom meeting. After the meeting was over, I called to see if she ever got the memo, if she knew that we were even having a meeting. She said she knew. But what she said in the next few minutes of our conversation was that our mother was going through her journey, and basically that she made choices that led her to where she is now. And while my sister loves my mom, there's no doubt about that, she said that she was not going to alter her own life for my mom. Now, since we were on the phone, my sister couldn't see my eyebrows raise, my forehead wrinkle, and my smile turn into a frown. But I only did that for a moment, because as my sister was speaking, I was reminded of the fact that as a spiritualist, I know that each one of us does have our own journey. And while our natural destinies may vary, our divine destiny is the same. I'm going to say that one more time. While our natural destinies may vary, our divine destiny is the same. We do have choices after all. And what is the choice exactly? It's the act of selection or making a decision when faced with 2 or more possibilities. And yes, doing nothing about a situation or predicament is a choice. And in all fairness, I need to say that I'm pretty sure that the choices my sister was referring to in regard to our mom were the decisions she made after retiring 30 years ago to move from Michigan to Florida, as well as to rely on traditional medicine for her health and well-being. My sister believes in the holistic approach. Bless her heart. We all have choices, and choices have consequences. Making the right choice may yield a good reward, whereas making a poor or bad choice will probably result in consequences that are, well, not so good. Now, in case anybody is wondering where the ability to choose or free will came from, I'd be happy to remind you that in the book of Genesis, God told Adam and Eve that they could have any fruit in the Garden of Eden, but not those from the forbidden tree. And he told them why it wasn't a good idea. And well, I'm sure you remember the rest of that story. Speaking of stories, have you ever heard the story about the retiring carpenter? Nobody? Well, I'd like to share it with you. Unfortunately, the author of the story is unknown. But here's how it goes. An elderly carpenter was ready to retire. He told his employer of his plans to leave the business and start a life of leisure with his wife and extended family. He'd missed the money, but the time was right, and he was ready to hang up his hammer. His boss was disappointed, as the carpenter had been a loyal and diligent worker for many years. He was sad to let him go. He asked him for one last favor. He requested that the carpenter build one more house before retiring. The carpenter agreed, but it was soon clear that his heart wasn't in it. He took shortcuts, used inferior materials, and did not do his best. When the job was finished, the employer came to inspect the work. After taking a look around, he handed the keys to the carpenter and said, "This is your house. It's my gift to you." Well, needless to say, the carpenter was shocked and embarrassed. If he had only known the consequences, he would have made sure that everything was perfect. He would have demanded excellence from himself. While we're free to choose, we're not free to choose the consequences of our decisions. Here's a question for you. Is it possible that each of us are what we are, where we are, doing what we do as a result of the thousands of choices we've made over our lifetimes? Think about that for a minute. Yeah, I think it is. We make our choices, and our choices turn around and make us. Thank goodness, the journey to our destiny is not about being perfect. It's about undoing what is not us and becoming who we really are. Now, I mentioned two types of destinies earlier: natural destiny and divine destiny. Natural destiny is guided and controlled by the circumstances in life, where you were born, the people you associate with, your education, economic conditions, and so forth. Divine destiny, on the other hand, begins when you're born. It has to do with the Holy Spirit, which lives inside of us, in our heart. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 1 says that each person is precious because God created each person in love and with his divine spark. And for this reason, God has given them his law. And might I add that one day, the destiny of that spark is to be released from its captivity in matter and return to God. So, is life on this earth plane a matter of destiny or choice? Could the many innocent people who are killed during wars or natural disasters have chosen to suffer to teach the rest of the world compassion, to teach us to love one another, to take action to relieve the suffering of one another, to give to those in need, and to be more grateful for what we have while on this earth plane? Or was it their destiny? How about karma? The universal law of karma is based on the concept of cause and effect. Now, this law works on the same principle as the law of physics, that being that every action produces an equal reaction. Positive karma encourages progress of the soul, and negative karma hinders the progress of the soul. Now, karma can also mean the choices or decisions that one makes through free will. Throughout our lifetime, we are engaged in a series of choices, but there are really only two options. Either you make a positive choice or you make a negative choice. We're tested in a variety of contexts. We make choices involving family situations, our physical bodies, our careers, and so on. After a choice has been made, the results of that choice are apparent at various intervals. The laws of nature decide when and how you will witness the results of your actions, though. So, what if you're not sure of which way to go in terms of decision making? I believe that if your intentions are good, then you're heading in the right direction. The bottom line is this: all souls in this world must rectify and learn from the choices they have made. We are here to have experiences and grow from them. I don't know how fast I'm speaking, but I'd like to end with a poem called Life is a Choice by Lourdes. He says, "This life is but a choice on how to live and who to be. You can be anyone you want. You can be chained, or you'll be free. Many times they will tell you otherwise, that the stars dictate your fate. They'll say the world will not let you if your dreams are just too great." Well, let me tell you one thing. It's your choice and yours alone. You'll never really get there if you're only dragged along. This world has not much in store for you because faith is scarce and no one knew. It's only you who'll pave your way or build the bounds where you will stay. There's not too many chances, but there's a lot of hope. But there's a lot of why to hope. No dream is ever easy. Oh my goodness. No dream is ever easy. but it is your choice to hold which rope. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you.